Hello, I'm Jakka-B and welcome to my producer series. Bass lines is probably one of the areas I get asked about the most, without doubt. And when it comes to bass lines, there's so many different types of bass lines you can add into your tracks. What I want to show you today is several different bass lines you can use as hard dance producers to be creative and put into your music. Let's go. Okay, so I've got a project here with the first bass line. Now, the first bass line I'm going to show you is my favorite, and it's also really, really popular at the moment, the offbeat bass. The offbeat bass simply is adjacent to the kick. It's offbeat, so you have the kick on the beat and the offbeat bass offbeat, and it sounds like this. Pure energy. And it's also kind of simple to lay out in terms of MIDI or audio because you've got one beat here, which I'm going to highlight. And as your kick ends at the halfway mark there, your bass line starts. So that's a really, really simple type of bass line you can use in your tracks. Whether it's this sound here, the kind of more trancey sound, or a donk that sounds like this. The offbeat bass is very versatile because you can use lots of different sounds to create that offbeat kind of vibe. And like I said, loads of energy in the offbeat bass as well. And just as a little side quest on the offbeat bass, it also covers things like those kind of like squelchy, wumpy basses that you hear in hard trance, the ones that sound like this. And those are essentially offbeat basses, but with less attack at the start. So I'll bring that down. Goes from an offbeat to that more kind of wumpy / squelchy bass. I'm sure there's a technical term for that style bass, but that's what I call it anyway. So you can also use that as well. The next bass on my list is the rolling bass, which is essentially 3 bass notes on the grid that looks like that. So with that, you do have to create a kind of side chain. Like I've got shaper box here, and so you can see as the kick hits, it's one note is there, the second note is there, and the third note is there, and it's ducking that first note quite substantially. With that turned off, it kind of just feels like it's on the kick. Gives it that more like galloping kind of rolling bass kind of feel to it. It's another one of my favorites, and these are great for switch ups if you've got an offbeat and you go into a rolling bass like after 8 bars or something like that. Like it's a really good for like switch ups, and it creates a whole different type of energy in the track as well. Also really popular in hard dance in recent years. So with this bass, there's also quite a lot you can do in terms of the notes as well. So I'm going to just highlight one beat. You can take out a note, so it sounds like this. You kind of still get that galloping effect, although it's slightly different. And then you can also kind of move the notes around. So you get that kind of side trancey effect like this. Or the more kind of typical trance sound. Either way, there's lots of different switch-ups, combinations, those kinds of things you can do with the MIDI notes to make a rolling bass sound a little bit more interesting than just the kind of 3 notes. Next up, we have the side-chained bass, which sounds like this. Kind of quite popular in like think music genres like electro house. And again, it's got a side chain just to keep it out of the way of the kick drum. Not too dissimilar to what I did on the rolling bass. If I turn that off, it's just like totally in the way of the kick, and there's not really any kind of like momentum to the kick and the bass. So the side chain here just ducks it under. Play around with the side chain. And it's kind of down to preference, really, like how much of it you want it to pop through, what kind of groove you'd like. But yeah, the shaper box or any kind of other kind of volume ducking LFO kind of tool like this, they're all really, really good. Finally, it's the reverse bass, which is obviously really, really popular from hardstyle and reverse bass. It's also used a lot at the moment in hard techno as well. I think that personally, the impact that a reverse bass can have on a drop is like second to none sometimes. It just sounds really, really good. And what you can do to get that is you can use a hardstyle kick like I've got here, like just a very kind of simple hardstyle kick. And again, kind of similar to the sidechain bass I showed you before, you can use a sidechain on the hardstyle kick, so there's no attack on it. If I turn that off, then it basically sounds like a hardstyle kick with just a club kick on top of it. And same as the last kick, you can adjust this kind of as how you want it. To get the groove that you want out of your bass line. These for me are probably some of the most useful bass lines that you can add into your tracks. They all create different vibes, different types of energy, and sometimes using 2, 3, or even 4 of those in a track can just create like a mad vibe in your tune. So hopefully this has helped you to give you some ideas on the type of bass lines you can use to create some hard dance bangers. If you liked this video, I'd absolutely love it if you would subscribe for more. I'm going to be really active on my YouTube this year, so I've got more videos coming for you guys. I've also got a Patreon as well, which is a monthly subscription service that offers everything from monthly samples and MIDI packs to feedback on your music to one-to-one tuition with me. So go check that out. I've dropped a link in the description. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you guys come back soon to watch another tutorial of mine. Bye.